What's going on, guys? My name's Josh and I'm back today with another Scream video. I hope you all got a chance to watch a new Scream movie. Today I'm going to be going over the opening weekend box office and where the franchise should go from here. Now, before we get started, if you could please like this video and subscribe to the channel, then you better watch out because it's time to get this video started. Let's go. Scream fans, we can all let out a sigh of relief because the new Scream movie is doing well at the box office. It, over the three-day opening weekend, it has made $30.6 million, and projected for the 4-day weekend, that is including the Martin Luther King holiday, it is projected to earn $35 million. So yes, that is very, very good news. We did not have a Scream 4 scenario. For those of you who don't remember, the Scream 4 movie did not do well at the box office, and that pretty much, any future films we had around that time were put on hold. We didn't get a Scream 5 or Scream 6 back then because Scream 4 did not do good at the box office. So it is definitely really, really good news that this movie is doing well at the box office. And just to kind of give you an idea of some of the opening box office. So the original Scream opened at 6.4 million. Granted, that was a very odd scenario because the first weekend it didn't do well, but then because the movie was so good and through word of mouth, it started to pick up momentum over time, and then actually did really well at the box office, but the initial opening weekend was not good. But then we look at, and now as far as this movie, Scream 2022, I want to just kind of give you an idea of how it compares to some of the other Scream movies opening weekend. So, compared to Scream 2. So Scream 2 opening weekend was 32.9 million and Scream 3 was 34.7 million. So this is actually really on par with the other Scream movies. So yes, this new Scream 22 is doing good. Now, compared to Scream 4, its opening weekend was 18.7 million. So that you can kind of see how that Scream 4 did not do good. But yeah, this new Scream movie is definitely doing a lot better. And it's on par to those other movies. And we gotta all keep this in mind as well. This is during a pandemic. So this is definitely a good opening weekend for the Scream franchise. Definitely good news. I definitely do think we will get more sequels, and yeah, it just seems like the studio is really behind this movie. I feel like they did such a good job with the marketing campaign, so I definitely see that we will get new sequels. I really do believe that. So previously, the highest opening for a horror movie over the Martin Luther King 4-day holiday weekend was the movie Mama that earned 32.1 million, and this new Scream movie is going to beat that title. So yes, very good news. This new Scream movie is definitely doing really well, and like I said, I definitely expect that we will get more sequels. So now I want to go into where can the franchise goes next? Where should the next movie go? And that's kind of what I want to speculate now. So first thing I want to say, if you have not watched the Scream movie, I will be talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I would definitely stop here if you don't want any spoilers. So first up, I gotta say, as far as the legacy cast, especially mainly Sidney and Gale, I love their characters. I love that they came back to the new Scream movie. But if going forward, especially if we get a Scream 6, I don't want them to be in this movie in any major roles. I feel like this movie, the way Scream 22 ended, it just ended with the perfect send-off for their characters. If they were to come back for Scream 6, I personally would only want them to be small cameos, which I think could be easily done since it's set in the same world. Gale would be really easy because she is a morning show host. They could easily show Gale's character on TV and do a small cameo that way. And even with Sidney knows Sam now, so if Sam runs into trouble, she could always call Sidney just for some advice. So I definitely would love for them to have small cameos, but I definitely don't want them to come back for a full storyline, mainly because I feel like they survived all these attacks over so many years. I don't want them to keep risking bringing back these characters and then having one of them die in the future. I just feel like at this point, I love those characters, but from here, I only want them to do small cameos. And I think the way the franchise is going, it really should focus on these new characters. So next up, who I think definitely is going to return or should return potentially for Scream 6 is definitely Kirby. For those of you who might have missed this, when Richie was talking on pretty much where he was watching one of the stab videos online, there was a YouTube video in the right that said interview with Woodsboro survivor Kirby Reed. So yes, this confirms that Kirby did survive Scream 4, and that actually was watched the live Q&A live stream with the directors after the movie, and the directors pretty much confirmed they stuck that piece in there because they want Kirby to live. They love Kirby's character and they wanted to confirm that she lived. They even said sorry to Kevin because in Kevin's script, Kirby was meant to die, where Kevin responded, yeah, the same thing kind of happened with Dewey. Dewey was originally supposed to die in the original Scream movie, but because Wes liked him, Wes changed that and kept him alive. So it's kind of the same thing. The directors liked Kirby, so they kept her alive for a reason. They stuck that Easter egg in for a reason. So yes, I'm very hopeful if they're going to bring Kirby back, bring her back for Scream 6. And actually, I think that makes a lot of sense. While I would have loved to have Kirby in, Scream, this new Scream movie, Scream 2022, there were so many characters, not only all the new characters, then we had the 3 legacy characters, Sidney, Gale, Dewey, all returning as well. Had Kirby came back for this movie, she really wouldn't have got a lot of screen time. She would have been fighting for screen time, especially with so many characters, that I just feel like they wouldn't have been able to focus on her the way she deserves. So I think it was actually, in a way, good that, yes, she didn't come back for the Scream 2022, but now if she were to come back to Scream 6, especially if the legacy cast don't return in any major supporting roles, this leaves room for Kirby to come back, and it's something that a lot of fans like Kirby, so the fact that she could come back would be really good, and she'd be able to come back in a big way, which I think would give her character the time that she deserves to shine. And yes, I would love to see Kirby interact with all of these new characters, and it would make sense if there's somehow some new killings going on that, Kirby gets involved and tries to help them. Actually, I think it would be really cool because, we're so used to, Sidney, Gale, and Dewey, as far as just trying to help solve the murders, it would kind of be cool to see, these new characters and then Kirby try to solve these new murders. Someone who else has experienced what it was like to be in a Woodsboro horror killing, and yeah, Kirby trying to help out in her own way. So yes, I definitely think this definitely leaves room for Kirby to return, and I'm hopeful that she returns for Scream 6. Now, next up, these new characters. So who survived at the end was, we had Tara, we had Sam, and we had Mindy and Chad. So we had the 4 survivors, and I just feel like with this new movie, it definitely left it open where there's a lot of questions we still have. Mainly, who is Sam's mom? Sam and Tara's mom. I want to know more about her. I want to know more about her story. She was in love with Billy. She got pregnant, but there's a lot of questions there. How much did she know about Billy? Did she know Billy was a killer? How does she feel about Billy now? Did she help Billy at all with any of the killings or cover anything up? Definitely a lot of questions there. And then the same thing as who Sam thought her dad was. He ended up leaving right when he found out. So I'm definitely curious to know more of that backstory, and I definitely think there's room for more stories, and there's definitely some secrets there. So I definitely think this leaves it open for definitely more movies. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this next movie takes these characters. I love everyone who survived. Sam, she's an awesome final girl, by the way. I love that she's Billy's daughter, so just even taking that take. You saw how the town of Woodsboro treated Sidney because she was Maureen Prescott's daughter, how they kind of just treated her badly. Now, how are they going to treat Sam knowing she's the daughter of a serial killer, Billy Loomis? I can't see the town treating her any better. They're going to treat her worse. So I definitely think that's very, very interesting, and I want to see if, Sam now, is she good? Is she just let go of all her issues with Billy, or is she still kind of fighting and worrying about becoming a killer herself, or worrying about that rage that she could potentially get from being Billy's daughter? So definitely a lot of questions there. But yeah, I love that, you could have Tara back, the 2 twins, Mindy and Chad. I definitely would love to see more of Mindy, especially if new killings start happening, Mindy's take on there. Overall, I feel like there's a lot of room for more sequels. It'll be interesting to see if they stay in Woodsboro or if it's something like Scream 2, where maybe someone goes off to college or they try to go somewhere else. Either way, I am super excited. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the opening weekend? Do you think we're going to get more Scream sequels? A Scream 6? What do you think about the legacy cast? Are you okay with them not returning? Do you want them to return in future movies in, in a major way? And how do you feel about Kirby being alive, Kirby coming back for Scream 6? And how do you feel about the new characters and what will happen with them next? Okay, I know I just asked a ton of questions there, but either way, please leave your comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.